what are the two biggest objections we get back from our clients when we ask for documents for the visa renewal? Well, in this video, we're going to take you behind the scenes and let you know what happens once we've sent that email to our clients and saying, please send us this back so we can start your visa renewal process. I'm Goodacre from Upsticks. In this video, we're specifically talking about the non-lucrative visa, but what I'm about to tell you will apply to all visa renewals as well. So point number one, as I said, I'm going to run you through two objections we get back from our clients and explain why we get these objections as well. So the first one is the translations. Now, why do we get objections with translations? You think, hang on a minute, it's normal, isn't it? You're presenting something in Spain. Well, actually, no. A lot of people, now we do an awful lot of non-lucrative visas from the UK and from a few other places around the world. While some consulates actually request translations of certain documents, others don't. So from the UK, for example, we need to provide translations for things like criminal records checks, medical certificates and marriage certificates, but the finances do not currently need to be translated. Okay, so what happens is when we come to do a renewal, we send out all the information to our clients, and unfortunately for the renewal, any document that is in English or any other language will need to be translated into Spanish. This can cause problems because a lot of our clients come back to us and say, well, hang on a minute, the first time that we did the application in the Spanish consulate in the UK, we didn't have to provide translations of the financial documents, so why do we have to do it now? Well, the truth is because when you applied for your initial visa, you did it through the consulate in the UK, and there's certain parts of the assessment process where the consulate does a due diligence, and there's other parts where the government here, the Extranjería, which is the subdelegation's Department of Immigration in the province where you live, they do certain parts of it as well. When you come to do the renewal, you do it on a completely different platform, and it is completely managed by the subdelegation immigration department of the province where you live. Okay, so first of all, the platform that you use to present the renewal is called Mercurio. It's a government platform, and it only allows for digital documents to be uploaded, and any documents which are in English have to be translated into Spanish. Now, the good thing is that for the renewal, you don't have to have medical certificates, you don't have to have criminal record certificates. You may have to have a marriage certificate depending on your financial circumstances. And certainly if you've got finances which are not based in Spain, you can't produce Spanish documents from a Spanish bank, for example, you will have to get them translated. As I said, the reason being is because the first application, a lot of the due diligence is done by the consulate in your country of origin, and now it is all done by the subdelegation immigration department of the province where you live. Now, a lot of people come back to me and say, well, that's really stupid, because how do you translate numbers? I absolutely and utterly agree. When you translate a bank account statement, you only have to translate things like account and it says cuenta, but unfortunately that's the rules. Now, you can't just translate these documents yourself. These documents have to be translated by an official translator, which can be found on an official list. Okay, once your translating is completed, it will come quite often digitally signed. Okay, so for example, for our clients, we have a translator who sends the documents to us in a digital format ready to present directly on the government platform, and will come with a stamp proving that translator's registration number. Okay, so what can you do to mitigate the amount of translations that you need to give? Well, if you have to present a marriage certificate, you can't go back and get married somewhere else in a Spanish-speaking country. There's not a lot you can do about that, really. But your financial documentation, if you've got savings, for example, maybe make sure that the place where you hold those savings doesn't have an awful lot of other transactions. If you're proving payments of pension going into an account which isn't in Spain, you need to translate bank account statements, make sure that those bank account statements don't have loads of transactions, when really we're only interested in one, which is a pension payment. So keeping your documents which are not in Spanish, which you need to present, to a minimum will reduce the cost of the translations. So that is objection number 1. And objection number 2 is quality of documents. Now, it is normal that when you're coming from a country which isn't administratively heavy like Spain is, that when we come to do the renewal, you think, well, hang on a minute, how come I have to provide all of these documents? And why do I have to provide all these documents? Well, unfortunately, that's just the way it is here. And these documents have to be of good quality. When I say good quality, the platform that we upload our documents called Mercurio has a limit as well. They only let us upload up to 15 megs, which sometimes causes us a headache, because when you have an awful lot of documents, you might have 5 or 6 sources of income and lots of translations to submit to prove what your financial resources are, and we have to press them really into a small size, make sure the quality is still good to get it into their parameters. It's crazy, I know, but that's the way it is. But what we ask from our clients is we don't really mind what format you send them across, even if you send them over 100 documents in 100 separate emails because of the size of them, but they have to be of good quality. Now, what we've found is the government platform does accept a multitude of formats, but we've found that PDFs generally are the easiest to upload and the ones that we get less errors on. So we always format all the documents that our clients send us to PDF. Basically, it's easy to reduce the size of the PDFs, and we find that they get uploaded a lot easier. In terms of the quality, you can't have things like shadows on documents. Photos of documents are sometimes not that good. Things like CamScan can be a bit naff as well. How can you mitigate actually trying to get good copies to the person who's assisting you in doing your NLV renewal? Well, there's a few ways you can do it. The first way that we have for people who really can't do photocopies and don't own a printer and can't do scans is we say, look, go to a shop, take photocopies of all the documents, no need to send us the originals, it might cost a few euros, but then post them straight out to us, or we will send a courier directly to you to pick it up. In fact, we've just had one that's landed today, hence why I'm doing this video, because the idea popped into my head. The other way to do it, evidently, get yourself a printer, learn how to use a scanner, and if not, you can actually go to shops. Various shops will help you. Librarias, who sell books, they're typical news agents here in Spain, will help you to scan for a price and email them across. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with the subdelegation of the government, the thing you have to have in your head is when you're sending a document is you imagine that you are the person working in immigration at the other end of the computer, and you've got to work in the morning and you hit it and you see Chris Goodacre's renewal, and you look at it and you see a naff copy of a bank certificate which you can't really make out, and you can see it's a photo. They haven't really put much effort into it. Deny. Okay, now you go to work and you're a government agent and you sit behind your screen and you look at it and go, that's a really good copy of the passport. I can see all the stamps are clear. It's formatted correctly, perfect, tick in the box. Wow, that's a good healthcare certificate, tick in the box. Padron certificate, tick in the box. We could go on. So make sure that your copies are good, and I understand you may not be used to all this administration, all this paperwork, but document quality is key.